T-minus 4 minutes. T-minus 3 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes.
All right, folks, it's Kenny with Just Our Angle here, coming at you live, doing a quick update about an incident that's kind of gotten popular. It's kind of a sign of the times now. These are TikTokers. Asia, I believe, is one of them. Asia Marie Yarborough, and there's another one, and they had an incident in Arthur's Steakhouse. This is from LRHN Cash, and he mainly posts about things like bum fights and fires and other things that happen. Usually, it was high-speed car chases, and so this was his post. And I'm just going to play it to you a little bit and talk a little bit about what happens. If I can get this to play, I am clicking play, and Facebook decided to freeze up on me. Okay, let me.
Get him up here! He just came in here! Get him up here! Came in here! Got this fucking steak on her face!
10 million per child. 10 million per child followers. You fucked with the wrong family.
30 million followers! 30 million followers! Get the owner up here! Get him up here! Call the police!
Sir, you
Call the police!
Excuse me? You don't know what the fuck going on, sir.
So that's what happened. Apparently, there was a. They're claiming. So the TikToker people are claiming that Arthur's Prime Steakhouse. The cook shoved the steak in one of the ladies' face and ended up in an altercation, some kind of fight with the family. The cook hit one of the ladies. Owner takes nothing. This lady, Ree Cartel, says LRHN takes nothing to get the full scope of the story instead of clipping a video making him look like the aggressor for your racist fan base. I don't even know what's going on. LRHN usually takes the side of what we would call leftists or black activists. Sitting here while the owner or a waiter, somebody shoved a steak in a girl's face, and the situation escalates to punching her in the face. Racially motivated, supposedly. And here it is: Asia Yarborough, Aaron Amira Yarborough, and then here's somebody else. And this is, and Ree Cartel herself talks about this. So anyway, according to this person who gave a very detailed description, this is what happened. The family was seated in a private room for Mother's Day dinner at Arthur's Prime Steakhouse. They ordered rare steaks and sent them back twice, claiming the steaks were somehow overcooked. The kitchen then prepared new steaks the exact temperature they requested. However, for a third time, they were sent back one of the steaks back, saying again it was not cooked properly. The owner personally made sure the steak was cooked correctly and delivered it to the table himself to ensure everything was right. And the issue appeared to be resolved at that point. However, after receiving the bill, the family became upset and started causing a scene. The question why there was only one check, why a 20% gratuity had been added to the bill, and why they still had to pay for the steaks they claimed were not cooked properly. According to the restaurants, the steaks had been remade to the correct temperature, and the single check policy with an automatic 20% gratuity for parties of 7 or more has always been restaurant policy. I really do wish restaurants would tell people this more. Restaurants really do need to let people know up front, because sometimes you don't know that and you're blindsided. I will say that's something that restaurants need to do a better job of. And you can, and like, if you don't agree with the policy, you can leave, but they need to tell people ahead of time that, and maybe they do. I don't know. The family began making disturbance in the middle of the restaurant, shouting and demanding the owner speak with them. Other customers became annoyed and distracted by the disruption. Some even attempted to calm the family down by asking them to quiet down and leave so others could continue enjoying their dinners peacefully. The restaurant staff also tried to de-escalate the situation and even offered to let the family leave without paying in order to stop the disruption affecting other tables. Oh, well, that's pretty serious if that was the case, if they were actually trying to get them out. Despite this, the family continued causing disturbance, recording videos, and attempting to defame the owner in the restaurant by calling it a racist establishment, even though there's other black people there. One of the managers tried to help calm the situation, but ended up having a phone shoved in his face while they were recording. The manager then attempted to take the phone away, and the situation became more heated. The family began screaming that they were being hit or assaulted. The situation escalated further. One man allegedly attempted to grab a steak knife. Staff members noticed and tried to stop him, which led to more loud and chaotic arguments. Ooh, that's serious. The family then began breaking steak knife boxes and damaging the expensive piano display in the middle of the restaurant. Eventually, police arrived and began investigating the incident. Well, here's one situation here. This is one of the people, Asia Marie Yarborough, and she was arrested, charged with aggravated assault, 2 counts, which I guess means she picked a fight at least twice, and then disorderly conduct. And her bond is 0. I'm not sure what her case status is. I'm sure it'll be in Pulaski County Quorum Court. If somebody wants to go there and see her status, they can do so. Here, I'll go ahead and copy this link and send it to y'all just so you can see. A lot of people don't know what the status of what happened with this is. And maybe this eyewitness didn't get it right. Y'all feel free to chime in if you want to, say hi. But this was in Little Rock at Arthur's Steakhouse. And there's actually a part 2 to this. Let me see if I can find the part 2. Well, here's another angle right here. Let me make sure I share the tab. And then
discriminated against our entire time here.
Fuck y'all mother.
Just so y'all know. Our entire time here, we've been being discriminated.
Everybody must say fucked up now. Y'all let that bitch.
Aaron, I think that's Asia.
Who that? Now we loud in this bitch. It's our shit.
And I don't know who that is.
He going to jail. I cannot wait to see this shit. I can't wait.
And then I think that's part of the family
No,
too.
I want to punch his dumb ass, but I can't.
Hands, Lisa?
I want to blast
Because
him,
there was a
whoop
one
that
guy
ass,
that
but I
hit
can't
you.
get
Who
that.
else?
There's somebody
As
else
soon as
peeking
he hit
into
me, I like whacked out, started punching him back. I don't know
It
who
was
else
that
was
meth
swinging.
head who's going to jail.
Who else
too.
was swinging?
The meth head hit dumb
Him?
ass.
Who did he
the
swing on?
meth head.
You.
He hit me?
He swung on
We call
you.
Arthur's.
I don't
And
remember.
Aiden.
You put your hands on me, sir?
We're gonna get
Yeah,
that.
he did. How did he put his hands on me?
I have the video.
Show
Let
the
me
video.
run the video.
You're about to
They
press charges on
supposedly
your
have a
dumb ass.
video
I'm
of
pressing
the
charges,
fight.
bitch. Who else?
You would think if there was a video of somebody actually doing the hit that these people, after all the problems they would have had, would have actually recorded it. And the fact that they don't, and that the police seem to decide to arrest at least one of the people here. Here's a part 2. It seems like or maybe there was a problem with the steak and they just escalated. But it doesn't look like Arthur's did anything wrong. And maybe they did. We won't know. Here's part 2. So this is a part 2 of the video. There's the piano there. I hear some clanging of metal. I don't know if there's a steak knife involved. I don't know if this lady holding the baby is involved or is just trying to get out of the restaurant or what's going on. It wasn't buffering when it did. Rather than menu So anyway, that happened. And if anybody else wants to add to this story or any other, go to TikTok. I haven't subscribed to TikTok because it is a communist front. But yeah, that's kind of what happened there. And as I said before, and I'll show this again, the police so far seem to have sided with. Let me see if there's another Yarborough that was also arrested or is either today or because we have Asia Marie Yarborough. Well, now it doesn't show that. Oh my goodness. Let's see an arrest date of everybody that was arrested on the 10th. Okay, let's just delete that and search for everybody. U.S. Marshals, blah, blah, blah. Wow, look at this guy. A lot of people were arrested apparently yesterday. I was trying to see if there was Yarborough. Nope, looks like Yarborough was the only one arrested yesterday. They didn't go after the other family members so far as I know. So there's that. But folks, that's kind of the situation where we're at now. Places, it's getting to where blue cities are starting to fall apart, and that's kind of what else I wanted to talk about. If you type in a data center on Twitter X or pretty much anywhere else, you'll see, and I typed it before and then it cleared it, so I don't know why it did this. I posted this video before, how the data center in Georgia was literally getting poisoning and getting rid of the water pressure. Here,
from a snowless winter. Now, the water usage is where these numbers almost become unbelievable. But U.S. data centers were already consuming an estimated 449 million gallons per day. That's as of 2021. And that's 163 billion gallons a year. By 2030, that magical number where we're going to own nothing, they're anticipating an additional 1.45 billion gallons of new water capacity needed per day. That's equal to New York City's entire daily water supply. So one single large data center can drink up to 5 million gallons a day. That's the same as a city of 50,000 people. And here's the kicker. Most of that water doesn't get returned. It evaporates through cooling towers. It's gone. Now, the USA far surpasses any other country for the number of data centers, okay? We have an additional 5,000 compared to number 2, Germany. So we are going way, way beyond any other country on the planet. Now, we're taking up huge amounts of farmland, huge amounts of water. The future implications of that are pretty obvious. You take away farmland, you take away food for the people. You take away water, you take away water from the people, and you put it towards AI, towards data centers. Why are we continuing to support and build our own doomsday towards the future? Because that's what it is. All this plays the 2030 agenda of moving us all into 15-minute cities. We're cutting down the population because we won't have food to eat or we won't have water to drink. And we're all giving it over to data centers and big tech, right?
Yep. This guy's right on the button. If you look at other things about data centers, you'll see all kinds of video, what they sound like, how you can't really live next to them, how they poison the water. But here's this stupid thing by John Stossel, who thinks that since they're supposedly companies that we need to build these, we got to beat China in the data center race because these data centers are supposedly going to be the future. They're not. All they're going to be used to do is make AI slop and be used against U.S. citizens, just like every other piece of technology. It's not going to be used to cure cancer. It'll be used by folks like Anthony Fauci to do the opposite, to make a more powerful disease, or make some other tick disease like Bill Gates has done, releasing a bunch of poison ticks into the world. Now, of course, when I talked about data centers last time, I showed this video of this angry guy rightfully yelling. This was in Utah, and this commission went ahead and approved it. They yelled, disrespected the crowd, then went back and voted in privately, and all voted yes, and their vote was already set. But why is this happening? Well, part of the reason is because your local governments are not your local governments. Your city and county leaders, they don't actually work for you. They work for other people, and I'll try to show you a little bit about this. What I did recently is I looked up lobbyists. I'm going to use my state as an example, but this is in every other state. Go and look up lobbying. This is the Arkansas Secretary of State's website. And you can see all these lobbyists, Planned Parenthood Action Fund, all this group. What I tried to do is put number of clients. And I sorted it out, and this is for 2026. Capital Advisors Group, and you look at the clients, members of the General Assembly, that means the state legislature, public servants of state government, that means your bureaucrats, public servants of county government, so your county clerk, your county judge, and then it lists some of the other counties and cities where they represent. Now remember, these cities and counties, they constantly tax you. They constantly supposedly need money to fix the roads and to repair the sewage. Little Rock actually just went through some recent flooding. And it wasn't even a heavy rain, but there's sections of Little Rock that constantly flood. And yet somehow, some way, they're able to hire a lobbying firm. How are they able to do that? Why should they even be allowed to do that? Here's another one, GC Advisors. Members of the General Assembly, public servants of state government, public servants of county government, all counties. So every county has multiple lobbying firms. Capital Consulting Firm. There's Mullinex and Associates. This is just about all counties. And some of these counties are like the poorest counties in the nation, but they're still somehow represented by lobbyists. You wonder why you have data centers, why you have problems with your local government. I'm going to go ahead and put this link onto here so you can share this. This is from the Arkansas Secretary of State's website. And I remember this issue when a group of people were fighting to have what's known as a state sovereignty law regarding these federal governments. The ATF, for instance, and come in and have the local police assist them in doing a raid. And this was actually the raid where Brian Malinowski was killed. They had LRPD help them conduct that raid. There was laws that were attempted to be passed first on a state level that would stop those kind of activities, that would say, no, these unconstitutional organizations like the Bureau of Land Management, the even worse BLM than BLM, or the EPA or other organizations can't just, press gang or recruit their local officials and force them to take part in these illegal and unconstitutional raids. And that's on the state level, it failed, thanks in large part to Asa Hutchinson. I was actually in the legislature for a little bit when that happened. It was that several sessions ago, but there was attempts to do that on a county level. And I believe there was one county, I think it was Scott County, that managed to pass that. Well, as soon as that county passed that, other counties started to try to do that. The Association of Counties, along with other organizations, shut down even debate on that issue. I remember going to Hot Spring County and trying to film where they were going to have debate on this. And the lawyers came out and said, no, we can't even talk about this. I thought I had video of it, but I haven't been able to find it yet. But it was Hot Spring County. It was years ago. But if you look at all these lobbying firms, these multiple lobbying firms have as clients members of the General Assembly and public servants of state governments. Rose Group Advisors, I don't know if that's the same as Rose Law Firm where Hillary Clinton used to work, but all counties and then several cities. And this is why you have these problems. So I went ahead and looked at some of these lobbying groups and say, well, who do these lobbying groups look for? They have other clients. And you look here, let me put on items per page because you have to show this. So here's Capital Advisors Group. This is one of the big lobbying firms. And you want to know why you have why your energy rates are going and why they're putting in data centers. Entergy Arkansas, there you go. There's a utility company that's able to hire a lobbying firm. And then, of course, gambling and casinos, that's why you have a bunch of those in. Despite Arkansas, again, being a super red state, we're in the Bible Belt, we have a Republican supermajority. And yet because of these lobbying firms, Cryptic Farms Data Processing Center right here. Now, some of this may be actually Bitcoin, not the data centers. It's kind of hard to tell the difference, which is also a scam. I myself took part in fighting against those in Valonia and in, let's see, Harrison, where small groups had to get formed. And by the way, it couldn't be by these community groups that are oftentimes fighting this are not either of the political parties, because if, as I said before, these lobbyist groups control both political parties. All the Democrat parties are run by them, and there's a few within the Republican Party. There's a few folks like myself who try our best to try to fight and get the Republican Party involved in these fights, but every time we're stabbed in the back by consultants. And if you follow me, you know who they are: Chris Caldwell, Chase Duggar, and others. Those are the lobbyists that, for all intents and purposes, run the Republican Party. And they tell these state legislatures not to listen to the people. If a county committee isn't a yes vote for this lobbyist group, then the legislatures don't show up to the county committee, and so on and so forth. And the same thing with your city and county officials. They just don't show up. They don't listen at all. Here it is: crypto, energy and natural resources, technology. I don't know what this is. Nonprofit. So this is NGOs. You wonder why they're oftentimes getting all kinds of sweet deals. Here's another one: data centers. Salt Lake City, Utah. I don't know if this is the same dude that's building the one in Utah, but that's why. Let's look at another consultant group. Capital Consulting Firm. And you'll see healthcare, tobacco. I thought all tobacco companies were evil, and we were supposed to sue them in the ground. Somehow they got a lobbying firm. And maybe some of these groups aren't bad, but it's kind of hard to tell. Some of them may supposedly have good intentions, but they're oftentimes these nonprofits. They'll be taken over by leftists and be used for nefarious purposes, like the Red Cross. We remember that in 9/11. The Red Cross was originally founded as a Christian organization designed to help people. But we saw after 9/11 how all those donations started disappearing, and then their CEO was making lots of money. Here we go: Regional Water Authority. There you go. You want to know why they don't care about where your water goes, why it's going to go to data centers? That's why, because the water companies, and we all know they're not really companies. They actually care more about other things other than taking care of their people. Here it is: Integrity, Energy and Natural Resources. Tyler Technology, law firms, Arkansas Trial Lawyers Association. You really ought to ask Palo Alto Networks. Isn't that where Google is? I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's why your county and local governments will sell out to data centers and solar panel farms. And by the time you even know about what's happening, they've already been a done deal. And of course, when you go there to form a group and protest, you wonder why they don't listen to you, why they ignore you. It's because someone else is paying their money. Here, Arkansas Electrical Cooperatives. This is for JCD Consulting. This is Chase Duggar's little scam lobbying group. Here you go: data collection. Marijuana processors. And what's sad is that this consultant right here, in particular Chase Duggar, he paints himself as a Christian conservative. And if you got to try to run for office, he or somebody like him will probably be told, this is your campaign manager. You need to listen to him. And then during the legislative session, legislators will be put in a closed door, and they are supposed to listen to him. because and you think that, oh, this is just a Republican guy who's helping me get elected. He's not. He works for these people. He works for the globalists. Data collection, big food, uh, big education, the people that forced us to get COVID. By the way, all these groups right here, they were part of the COVID vaccine mandate, all that crap. And of course, big energy. And this is just another article. I'll close with this. I don't want to take too long on this issue. This is just a kind of an example of how much money was spent by lobbyists in the 2025 legislative session, 1.6 million. Now, again, are they all bad? No. I'm sure Conduit News, which is a great organization, spent some money fighting for our freedoms. But a lot of it, most of it, is on by globalist organizations that want to take away your freedom. I think Americans of Prosperity is listed in this. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'll just post this here. But folks, if you want to get involved, first find out what organizations are fighting for your freedoms. Sometimes your local Republican committee might be helping you. Sometimes they're not. It's kind of up in the air. If they aren't, probably the best effective thing to do politically is to take it over and try to reform it. There's really no time or resources needed to form a third party. The third parties just really don't work anymore. There's the Libertarian Party, but I mean, in all reality, they're probably not going to get probably 3% of any major position. That's the sad reality. The Constitution Party, they're great folks, but again, they just seem more bent on. I am trying to look for that footage where where they had that debate. I know I filmed it, but I'm not sure which place I put it in. But yeah, third parties just aren't going to work. There's lots of organizations that are fighting for your rights. One of them is a group called Secure Arkansas, Conduit News I mentioned before. I list some of these groups on my links page. Of Arkansas, Reopen Arkansas. Here, let me go to my list of groups because otherwise I'll forget one and then I'll wish I hadn't mentioned them. Is again, if you go to the description on my page, you'll see these groups that are helping out. But yeah, find these groups, find ways to help them. If you can't get involved because you're too busy working, donate money. Otherwise, try to donate time. Share them. And I am trying desperately to find that list of groups of people. And of course, you can fund this group. There's ways you can donate to my organization if you put in the description below. Arkansas Voter Integrity Initiative, Arkansas Transparency in Government. They're mainly the groups that fight for FOIA. Moms for Liberty, I haven't heard too much from them, but last time I've heard they were a great group. I know the Southern Poverty Law Center painted them as a hate group. That in of itself ought to be something. And there's other places you can list to, 102.9 FM, 101.1 FM. Lots of other places where you can get information on what's going on, get the full story, and find ways where you can get involved. I did actually find some of that footage from years ago. let me see if I can get it Hot Spring County Court. This was 6 years ago. Live stream Bill of Rights ordinance. Matter of fact, let me just see if I can find it that way. Of course, YouTube has an algorithm that is designed to make it difficult to find things. Here we go. I didn't plan on sharing this, but
Committee meeting. We have Budget and Finance has a couple of ordinances, cleanup ordinance and transfer some funds for voting safety ordinance that we're going to review quickly. Mike, is your committee going to meet tonight? I think you're going to meet. Okay. Judge, you have some information to pass on to that committee.
We'll also need to meet this 911.
Oh yeah, and Gerald, your committee, 911 committee meeting, correct? Well, it won't take us, I don't think, Randy, what, 5 minutes? And then I can join your committee, if that's all right. Do we have anything?
I don't write something.
Go right ahead.
I talked to Judge. We need to get the ball rolling on this. Whatever we're going to do, I just figured out about it.
We need to get the sheriff and the chief deputy.
Well, we need to request them here. We need to do something to get the ball rolling. We need to call a committee here. Come to figure out jail standards. I know jail standards will be different. Find out what it's going to take financially.
Mm-hmm.
To see if we're going to be possible to do this. I know it's not something we jump into.
I
Start laying bricks tomorrow.
agree.
But we need to get something going. We're fixing to be in March here. We haven't done anything to appropriate $200,000 to take care of it.
I agree.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
It's something we need to, I tell you what we need to do then, we need to, because we can't do it tonight, so we can't vote on anything in committee tonight.
so again, this is 3 videos about what happened. Let me see. I'm kind of trying to find the one that has where the lawyer says that you're not allowed to talk about this issue. Let me see if it's this one. And this is Hot Springs County Court in Malvern. This was 6 years ago.
You're going somewhere, right? I don't have to tell us.
You can tell where you're going. We should have picked up.
I'll send you a picture of my backyard, that's where I'll be. Back to work.
I was going to say,
Yeah, like.
we just wait here.
I'm just waiting here. What kind
Oh, court.
Just committee, just your committee.
What day was that?
Oh, anybody. Yeah.
Okay. I can't quite find it yet. But anyway. Well, folks, I got to take off. Remember when the righteous rule, the people rejoice? We now have a say in that. It's not much, but again, try to find a way to get involved.